you get into like the different like fields and like niches, it's even more and more small.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All ready?
Oh yeah.
And now I'm a social worker too. Ooh. Ooh. We're doing some real work around here.
Yeah, being able to take like the actual talents and put them into like activism work is a unique opportunity, eh? It's a very, very unique opportunity. So I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited.
I'm just getting started now. I'm just like, okay, now we can get into it.
Mm-hmm. Well, tell us who you are. Let us know.
Ooh.
We have here today with us. Yeah, we ready inside, girl. The lights are on.
All types of shit the whole time.
Record going. We inside.
Oh. Damn. I got too comfortable. I was like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who am I? Okay, yeah. I'm rare. Hey. Miss One of a Kind, so divine, and a hard to find goddess. Goddamn. And I'm a Toronto born and raised creative. Grew up facing a lot of barriers, but it did not stop me from striving for success. Yeah, can't let things stop you. Can't let your circumstances, your environment, your family, any of that stop you from what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when did you discover, I guess, these talents that be able to propel you forward? Mm. When did you discover them? And we'll get back to the obstacles. We'll get back to that. But I want to know, where did you find that ignite?
Started a long time ago when my mom did not like using the Kodak camera.
Okay. Sure.
So I would always be the family photographer. Okay. They would always pass me the back in the days of Kodak, we had, the little disposables. And I would always be the one like shooting like the fresh bread when it got out the oven, and the flowers in the garden, and when we went out and everything. And there's those cute little things that like I felt special in my family to be like, ooh, I captured the memories. So from that pathway of photography, I continued to do that until like end of middle school, high school. Dipped my hands into digital photography. Okay, so I grew up not having a lot and everything. So I hustled doing a newspaper route when I was younger. And that's when I bought my first point and shoot camera.
How early did you have to wake up?
Oh, no, it was afternoon shift. Oh, okay. I ain't about that. I wasn't about that life back in the days. Because
I know. That's an early route.
No, I was just trying to ride my bike and enjoy my life. But
so even since like you were young, you just kind of had this mentality of, these are the things that I want or need to provide, and this is how I'm going to get it.
Yeah, but like also like not having much in your house. Like I came from like bread and butter, canned food, broke. So we were I was so destined to be like, if my mom's busy working, everyone's busy working in the house, why I should be working too? Yeah. What can I do?
How do I contribute?
Yeah, I was doing bake sales. I was selling like garage sales, newspapers, babysitting, snow shoveling, you name it. Shoot, been a hustler from long time because I just wanted more. When you want to do more, you got to get more. So how you gonna get it? You got to work for it. So yeah.
And I hope you don't overlook kind of like how important that mindset at a young age is, or even how rare it is at a young age to have that mindset. To be able to kind of see what people are doing around you and be able to contribute and know how to fit in is a skill, and it's a very unique skill. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to how that kind of what that looks like.
Easy though.
That's a very early fashion. Ooh. It's a very early hustle.
And like I think the hustle also stemmed from like I grew up in like white based schools. Like there's 3 black kids in there.
Yeah.
And all these kids always had the nice what was it back in the days? Abercrombie and Finch. The Old Navy. Like we had Walmart. Like my mama only got the Walmart.
Buy away if you're lucky.
Yeah, we're like pay less shoes. That's what we had.
Good ting.
And I was like, I want nice tings. Like damn. And I was like, oh, okay, I need some extra money. How am I gonna get it? And like that's when my mind started flowing. Like, what's the other ways I can make money? So like I had, you know what? It also stemmed from my mentors. Like they were trying to build businesses and everything. And I would always like bike around the community and pop up and just listen in on what they're talking about. I was like, this is interesting. Business life, eh? I never really knew what I wanted to be or what I was good at. Like I actually had like no skills then. But over time, we started exploring and trying things. And with practice makes persistence. not practice makes perfect. I don't believe in that because there ain't no such thing as that. But we can always, I feel like you could always get better. There's always levels to keep climbing.
And if you're not progressing, you're regressing.
Yeah. So it's just about like, try new things, see what happens. And over time, I became multi-talented.
So how do you think growing up in the city influenced your creativity?
So I grew up in the public housing part. So we go from there and we see what else is around the city. And you're like, wow, there's so much to explore, so much to discover, so many different people. Toronto's very diverse. Like the multiculturalism or whatever that's going on here is great. Walk down the street again, Chinese food, Indian food, what you want. They got
pizza, pierogies,
sushi. I'm a sushi lover. But
have you tried it's like it's like Spanish sushi?
Spanish.
I forgot the name.
Is it around here?
I don't remember where it is, but it is a sushi place. But it's very like Spanish influence. Everything is named after I think all the villages in like Brazil and that kind of stuff.
Name of that. I'm gonna check
it was really really good. The service was slow. I don't want to call them out. The service was slow.
Damn,
real slow.
Damn.
Can you imagine someone at a sushi spot coming and saying, "Hey, are you sure you want that?"
The people who work
kitchen is closing. What? Are you sure you want to get another order of that dynamite roll? Like,
what, are they not trying to make money? Are they a business?
It's all you can eat.
What's going on?
They're ready inside. It's all you can eat. That's right. You're ready to know 55 per person.
They're not having it. Damn.
So just you're right. Like that diversity.
Their rating went from like maybe a 4-star to a 2.5.
But the food was good. Sure. The food is really good.
But the service is what makes you come back.
They'll get to it.
Oh, y'all hire some better staff, please.
Asians. Like, no. Am I wrong?
People with manners. That's
they work differently.
Manners. You can't be caught talking to people and be like, yo, do you want that?
Are you sure? You want to go home?
Why are you like this? What was the reason?
They want to go home. The kitchen was closed. Yeah. But you're right. Like that diversity that we get
my
here,
mama said.
The access that we have to like the food and the different types of like fusions that we have. And that's why I asked, like, does that influence your creativity or your art in any kind of way?
Yes. Okay. So most of my art, I like to make it Black centered because I am a Black woman and I'm trying to be who I needed as a kid. We didn't have role models. We had people we did not want to be like. Again, I'm from the public housing areas and sometimes there's a lot of madness going on around there. Seeing your friends pass, like a lot of trauma. Anyway, so yeah.
So you did mention some things there, and I think what you're kind of getting to is that there is like a good side and a really, really dark side as well. That kind of comes to when you live in the city and you do have certain talents, like sometimes that does come from not seeing the best things. Yeah. So what have you been able to, I guess, do to help you through those obstacles or... Because those tools take a long time to build, right? Unfortunately, you don't learn tools of resiliency from being complacent, right? So what are those tools that you've been able to use?
So through that time, I've always... so the first was like capturing the city and what it looks like in my eyes through the camera. So capturing, if there was like a shooting in the area, I would go take a picture of the window or whatever, just cause I just want to have this memory to be like, if the area does get nicer and things get better, I want to be like, this is what we came from and this is what it is now. See that progress is beautiful for me. And then the second thing would be writing. I've always been a writer. As a baby, I've always had pens in my hand. Like I have those Kodak photos at home where I'm always the one grabbing the pen off the table. And my mom's like, "Where's the pen?" What are you doing with it? I'm up here like drawing on the walls with it. I was that kid. So I would say, that was like ways of healing, ways of expressing myself.
So do you mind sharing your format? Is it like journaling? Is it poetry? Is it writing novels? What is your format? Preferred?
It's all of them. But personally, the poetry was where I started because I was a token, I like to say, in a school of...
That's fair. Yeah, no, go ahead.
The only, like, one of the only Black females in the school, I was just like, it's the hard knock life. No, I'm joking. But I'm sorry.
No, that's what you felt. No, that's what you felt.
No, but like feeling like you're that only person. Yeah, I got bullied a lot, and I was actually fairly MAGA back in the days. MAGA, Toronto word for skinny. Yeah, so I was fairly MAGA back in the days, and these kids would always bully me, but it's only because my mom always gave me crackers and cheese for lunch. I freaking hate cheese and crackers. And she didn't even know I was lactose. Like, oh my God, why you gotta do me like that?
Most Black people are. It's fine.
I know. Don't be doing the dairy. Try not. Almond milk and soy milk for the win. Actually, soy milk. Anyway, that's another conversation.
I wouldn't encourage the soy milk. That's why men have big ass breasts and have no hair. Don't do that.
I did my research on that and I was like, ooh. Ugh. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's something to Google.
Yeah, don't do that.
No.
That's why men look like that now. Sorry. you know me, right? You know who you are already.
It's healthier. It's okay. We just staying healthy, staying ever blessed, and Black don't crack.
Drink some food, have some sea moss, you'll be fine.
Yes, I do. The sea moss for the win. Smoothies, you name it. I try to do risotto with it. Anyway, I'm a foodie. Don't even get me started. And don't even get me started on the food.
No, speak on that. Because I do remember seeing that you were doing some community initiatives where I saw a lot of things being cooked. I didn't know if it was just you cooking alone or what was happening. But all I saw was food. Like a lot of food. Yeah. Can you talk about those initiatives?
Okay, so during the lockdown, basically I was in school for social service work. They moved it online and I was like, what in the world? What type of socialization are we having going on this screen? Because it's not for me.
For social services, right.
Yeah, like socializing is a really key component. And online is just not giving people enough space to really have those conversations that need to be had. So I took a break from school to take a position in frontline work. So there's a lot of tension going on in the city. Yeah. And I ended up working in a drop-in center for homeless, marginalized, and mentally ill and elderly folks all in one drop-in center. Okay. It gets hectic. But I took a job there as a community support worker. I really loved the work that I was doing. I was serving the folks at the door, checking in on them, holding conversations, bringing them in for appointments. We'd cook. We were fighting food security, so the kitchen there, it cooks breakfast and lunch, and sometimes dinner on certain days. And it's like a center for them to socialize and use a computer and get clothes. Actually, a couple of days ago, we just hosted a clothing drive. While I was working there, I got more than 20 bags of clothes donated.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, and all these folks were able to get at least like 3 outfits. Okay. It's a 3-part situation.
Sorry, may I ask, is it too late? I got a bag.
Yeah, you can still bring it through.
No, seriously?
Yeah.
Pardon.
So.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. While I was working there, the chef and the temporary replacement chef, her name is Shanae, and she's the owner of Mateo's Munchies. Okay. So she does chicken and waffles, but she got a job in the center, and the actual chef is on leave or vacation or something like that. So she's been cooking, and I was like, hey, before I leave, before my contract ends here, I want to do a fundraiser. And we ended up fundraising almost over $600 for a project called Feel Good Day. So self-care days for the homeless. And this is where the clothing drive is part 1. Part 2 is going to be this upcoming Tuesday. And I'm going to be doing a photo shoot for the homeless and all the folks there. There was actually one of my favorite participants. He passed away, and I was so sad. I maintained the garden there, so I planted a tree for him. And I was like, wow, no one had a photo of him for his memorial. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I could do a free photo shoot for everyone here. Time slots intended. But anyway, and really just give them something.
Don't say anyway. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't do that.
It's stories and stories. Yeah. I'm just gonna keep diving in more.
I think what's important about what you just said is that you paid to go to school. right? And school said you're online. And you said, no, I'm going to go do the frontline work in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
And what it also sounds like is that you create an opportunity from an opportunity from an opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? You could have just said, thank you for the grades. It was nice, right? But you decided to actually look at what's happening around you in real time. And that's one thing that I think we've been forced to do a lot more when it comes to like the work that we're doing, is it has to be reflective right now.
Yeah.
We may not be able to wait, right? You might not have another week to put those plans in.
The time is now.
Having that responsive intervention at that moment is really important. So I do hope that you see that what you've done is truly amazing, right? And also reflective to help people in real time, right? And it doesn't come from a place of like, oh, okay, let me see what I can get out of this. It's, oh, I can see it. You can't ignore things that are in front of you.
It's from the soul. Like, it's real. Yeah. As I was saying before, I know what it feels like to not have much. And now that as I'm leveling up and like doing my thing as a person, I'm like, okay, I have more than these people. So why not give back to them in some types of ways? Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just that type of person. Yeah. So it's beautiful. I volunteer, even though my contract's over. Like, I still like want to long-term volunteer there because like I don't want to just leave these people. Like, I've built relationships with them. I've understood their stories, how they got to those points. One of my another favorite participant, her name is Deborah. Oh my gosh, she has a mental health issue where she yells all the time. She'd be like, "Can I get my coffee?" And I was like, "Of course." And then she's like, "Extra sugar." And I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "Did you hear me?" I'm like, "Oh, definitely. I heard you." Yes. So, she actually helps me now that I'm not there all the time. She goes in. She's like actually homeless. She panhandles for change. But she's like, "Oh, I need other things to do." I'm like, "Oh, you could take care of the garden for me." She's like, "Yeah, I'll make sure I water it every day." And I'm like, "Thank you." That's all I can ask for.
Yeah, and that's like a long-standing impact that it's not in, okay, you've been able to put them in a house and give them all new things. That is more of a spiritual give back that is measured beyond us, right? Like way, way beyond us. So I know that from like that kind of work, that kind of energy exchange, right? Because it is
taxing,
right? And also, because it's volunteer as well, it adds another layer. Because you have your own home and lifestyle things, it adds another layer. What do you do to maintain your own mental health while you're doing these?
So the thing about it is like the work itself is a give back, but then there's the times where it does get hard. So sometimes I would actually go out into the garden and just kind of like water the plants myself or like maintain them, pull the weeds, really just admire what's here and think of the little things like gratitude. Every day I kind of practice gratitude. I have this little book beside my bed and I'll write 3 things and I'll say it out loud. I'll be like, today I'm grateful for life. Today I'm grateful for my hair. Today I'm grateful for a home, for food, for
Vaseline for my skin.
Yeah, the little things like that. That's important. I always got lotion in my bag. Oh my gosh, I'd be lotioning and walk outside. I'm ashy. I'm like, damn, need more vitamin E, vitamin C.
The little things.
But we, sometimes we don't take into account the small things that make our life what it is every day. Like the fresh water we get. My little sister, sometimes she'll eat the pizza and not eat the crust. And I'm like, did you know there are children in Africa and around the world who eat cockroaches? Okay. All right. You best give the crust to the dog or something. Recycle it. We have the compost. Yeah, we have the compost. Yeah. I was like,
don't put it in recycling.
Yeah, I put it in my weed plants area. I'm like, okay, we go throw some watermelon peels in there. All right. The bread could go in there too. We have a lot of birds visit the garden. Yeah. I actually had a whole family of blue jays come into my yard.
Are you serious?
Yeah, while I was rolling up my spliffs. Yeah. There's like 4 of them.
I don't see blue jays often. Not anymore. Like, not to say like on a date. Like, I'm not seeing blue jays like I used to before.
Area. I'm from like the west where the I would say it's like
so a little bit more trees and stuff.
Yeah, nature. Okay. We have a lot of parks, a lot of families over there. Yeah, I have like a whole park right behind my home.
Okay, so that helps.
So I think it comes from there because we got coyotes too. Like we got all types of things.
You in the bushes
there.
or what? Where you go?
Yeah, in the back there is some bushes. Okay. Yeah, I'm like, y'all better put those things away. Shoot.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay, I got scared. Like, oh no.
I actually got chased by a coyote like 2 years ago still. I thought it was a stray dog. That's a whole nother story.
Okay.
But I thought it was a stray dog and it did not end well. And it'd be crazy over there.
I wanted to know some of the opportunities you got. Like, how did you get them? Did you just... How did you get into these volunteer opportunities?
Okay, but... So I'd like to say... volunteering is really powerful because it really gets you out there. The more you're around, I feel like the more people will like think of you for opportunities. Like as a 5-time self-taught published photographer. I think I'm 8-time now, but anyway, I just say that.
Okay.
Publications just everywhere.
Good.
It started from the Kodak.
Yeah.
So like as being a photographer, it brings me around the city. So I would spend a lot of time like the city of Toronto, like there'd be like volunteer photographers for doors open for one of the opportunities. And that comes around every year. And you're a volunteer, but you get a pass where you get access to all the buildings in the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I understand what you mean.
Yeah. So I literally just go everywhere that day. Just $1 and a dream, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Explore. I would carry like business. Actually, before the business cards, funniest thing, I actually used to have these lined sticky notes.
That's a good idea.
Before the money was flowing, you know. But yeah, we didn't have business cards. I literally had sticky notes, and someone's like, "Oh, you have a business card?" I would write it on sticky note right there in front of me. Oh, we're working on business cards, but I could give you my Instagram right here
for the time
being. Or
I'd
put it like everywhere I go, like on the walls or something. Just to be curious, to be like, follow this account or search this hashtag or something like that. And there would actually be curious people that would do it. I had someone DM me to be like, I found your sticky note on a TTC subway. And I was like, this is really smart.
It works.
And I was like, one of my mentors, they called it guerrilla marketing.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually on the streets.
But it had negative feedback at one point too. Like I had a girl take a Snapchat or an Instagram photo of it and be like, LOL, people are so lame. This is how they're doing it now. And I'm like, I told the girl, give me the girl's account and let me message her. God, okay. And I was like, you gonna learn today. Respectfully. Respectfully. I was like, okay, what you mean? I was like, ooh, you are not gonna downplay me, baby girl.
But that means it's also still working though. Right?
That means it's
also still working because she had enough energy for it to be able to talk shit about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's still working.
So I messaged her like, hey, I seen you found one of my sticky notes. I sent a picture of the one in my hand. And I was like, she's like, oh yeah, I thought it was silly. And I'm like, oh, my bad. I was like, just to let you know, I used to put those sticky notes everywhere back when I started. And it's funny, it's still up there because now I have business cards. Now my work's been in magazines like Globe and Mail. Now I'm a published and hired and paid on a regular.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes it starts like that. But now it looks like this. And I showed her a new business card. And I was like, thank you, have a nice day. Waited till she read the message.
Ain't so silly now, right, bitch?
Exactly. Ain't a thing but a chicken wing, okay?
Yeah,
Shoot,
exactly.
You ain't gonna knock the hustle. I don't care who you are, who you thought you were.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
And this is why I wanted to like do this podcast so that people can kind of see that you don't just bust out of nowhere, right? Like there is no such thing as an overnight success.
Heck no.
There's a lot of behind the scenes work that has to be done. A lot of behind the scenes
steps,
self-maintenance that has to be done.
The self-development is key.
That's right. That's right. Before you get to a point where you're getting paid, you're getting booked, you're getting recognized and getting the pat on the back for the work that you've done.
I could say don't chase money also. I found sometimes the gigs wouldn't pay like bare dollars. Someone would be like, yo, I only got $50. They'll be like, okay, cool. I would still do it in their budget. Because down the line, that's a connection and that's like a stepping stone and a relationship that's built to be like, what if that person wants to call me back later on? I'm going to reject them because they only have $50 right now?
For now.
For now.
That's right.
You got to think long term. People don't think long term enough. They're like, Like, actually, I don't know if this is my quote, but I'm gonna say it's my quote.
Okay. Just a copyright, fuck it.
Sure. I told my homie, like, he has studied business in Humber. And I was like, yo, you know what? Short-term opportunity is not equivalent to
long-term success.
Yeah. The long-term money can come. But if you take the short-term, I'm going to take this salary. Sometimes they pay us a salary to make us forget our dreams. But if you take that, that's a short term getting you to your long-term goal. But your story is pretty boring. I'm going to tell you that. Like, yeah, you got your house, but like, is that really all you want in life? You just try to get the dollar, buy the house, and have a family, keep going.
But I think there has to be an understanding of what you truly, truly want, right? Because for some people, some of those things that you just listed off are, I guess, images of success.
Yes.
Right?
There's different layers.
That's right. So you have to know kind of what that really feels like to you, what that looks like to you. And I think one thing I've been able to reflect on is how is it influencing the people who I hold close to me, right? If it is that I have all the pillars of success, right? I mean, I don't. I don't.
Theoretically.
I do not as yet.
That's okay.
However, if I did, right? Does that still mean I'm hearing from my family on a regular? Right? Is it worth it if you don't hear from them? Is it worth it if your friends can't talk to you, if you can't see like your nieces, your nephews? Is it even worth it?
There's always that give and take though. Nothing in life is going to come free and you're always going to have to make those sacrifices. Yeah. Like back in the days, the sacrifices was I'm not buying business cards, I'm going to use sticky notes, and it still worked, but it has a level of unprofessionalism to professionalism. I would go into like meetings and give people sticky note. They're looking at me like, but like I was dead serious. I still smiled and like still same energy. You're not getting anything different, but yeah,
that's cute. Your sticky notes.
I was cute. I was like, here's my card.
Here you go. That's what I got today.
Yeah.
So you did mention a couple of things as far as how you got to where you're getting to, but do you have any, let's say, direct advice for young Toronto creatives right now, like today? What can they do today?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Love this question. I feel like folks are not getting organized enough. I feel like as a Toronto creative, write down what you want to see happen. That's manifestation. Some people, they don't believe it, but I'm going to let you know. I carry a journal in my bag 24/7 all the time, the same red notebook on a regular. I write in it. I look in it every single day. I write what I want to happen, and my manifestation has been real. Most of the things I write in there has become a reality. Like, I don't know about other people, but I'm telling y'all, if you wrote down your game plan and what you're trying to do or your dreams and your goals, it could probably come to fruition. And that's also using law of attraction. These are, I guess, spiritual guide ways of getting to success, but that's like another level of self-development. And I feel like after you have kind of known yourself, I think it starts with like knowing yourself. What are your likes? What are your dislikes? What are your strengths? What's your weaknesses? And how do you create a team around you? Learn to collaborate, learn to adapt, and bring yourself to different standards. Then you find, okay, once I've stabilized myself as a person, what's the goals look like? What are we really trying to do here? And then once you get to that point, it's more like application. Putting in that work to be like, okay, this is the goal. What's the steps look like for me? And that's where I'm saying, like, if you write it down, it's clear.
Yeah. And I think one thing I want to add to what you're saying is that you said, what are the goals and what are the steps, right? They have to be looked at very, very differently.
That's different.
Right? So your goal is to save whatever amount of money by whatever date, right? Yes. Your task in order to do those things are make a budget, check in with the bank, 100%. What is my actual income? What is my debt? Those are the tasks that have to be. And I think people get really confused in what a goal is versus what the tasks and the application that you have to put in to do that.
Yes. So like I could say, One time when I was shooting the 100 Miles event, I actually met a millionaire that day. He was kind of discreet about it, but the conversation was basically like, I think I was talking about law of attraction and manifestation. And he came in and he's like, oh, I'm writing a book about that, actually. I'm like, oh, interesting. I'm an author myself. I make books too. And then he's like, oh, love to have a conversation. He handed me his business card, and his business card on the front, it had his name and his information. And he was an international marketer, basically, and also had a strategic business on the side. And yeah, he passed me the card and he's like, oh, this is my playbook. So the front of the card looked normal. He flipped it over and it was a football playing field diagram. And on each line, he's like, these are 6 keys to success.
All right.
And one of them was SMART goals. And I was like, I looked at it and I pointed that one out and I was like, oh my God, as a social worker, they always tell us to make sure that our clients are on the SMART goal method. And that stands for S, being specific, M, measurable, A, attainable, R, realistic, T, and timely. And he's like, every single time I had a goal and I felt like I wasn't going to get there throughout my journey. This is like a 67-year-old man. He's like, every time that I felt like I was at a barrier or a blockade, I would apply the SMART goal method. And I'm like, oh my God. My whole brain just went, psh. I'm like, I've been doing it right. Oh my gosh.
That helps.
Yeah. He's like, it helps, but it's also the other things that were on the card. I can't remember all of them, but like I kept that card on my wall in my room. Yeah. And I was like, okay, geez, that's how we gonna get there. I'm about this life. Yeah. But And
I think everyone in their career, doesn't matter what field you're in, can kind of see how the things that are like the base foundations of your career are base applicants for success, right? Most people are actually working from the same blueprint, right? Kind of the same thing of SMART goals, law of attraction, whatever holy book that you're using, usually has the same base of it. I think a part of it is just trusting that inner drive, that inner voice, God, Jah, creator, whoever you want to call. Trusting that line, trusting that, because I truly don't believe that there's this like great book in the sky that has your destiny written out. Like I don't believe that, and if it's wrong, I'm so sorry, God. But but I don't truly believe it. But I truly do believe that when you are in tune with what you are supposed to be doing,
you're guided.
Things are guided for you. Doors are open for you. Relationships are built for you.
Yes.
Do you have any advice on how to learn how to trust that instinct?
Ooh.
I know.
Okay. I think it comes with grounding yourself. In the morning times, when I walk my dog or anything like that, I have like a garden in front of my house. So I'd go out there barefoot and just walk on the pavement, walk on the grass, take some deep breaths, listen to the birds, the wind, the leaves rustling, just those little things I was talking about.
With or without a spliff?
Both. Before or after, it doesn't matter. Good. But that's the vibes usually sometimes. But I find like that helps for you to kind of like get in tune with yourself. And then for me, okay, some people don't believe it, but I like angel numbers. I find while I'm walking around the city or doing things, they would just show up like multiple times in a day. Like I'm just like, why do I keep seeing this number? That's so odd. That's like really out of the ordinary. And I'm like, who else sees this? Or is it just me? I've been like just thinking of these types of thoughts with me. And I'm like, is this my universal guidance trying to speak to me? Or also like hair on your arms can stick up. There's also that tummy feeling. There's also that little sting in your head. Like those little like body nudges. Those are supposed to be telling you something. So if you feel something out of the ordinary with your body and you're having a conversation with someone or you're on the street, tune into it. Because like one time I was on the street and I have like these Beats headphones and there's surround sound. So like I can't hear nothing. And I was, I looked at like this sign and I was looking for something at the time. And I'm like, oh, the answer's right there. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is exactly what I was looking for. Yeah. And I don't know. It just happened so randomly, and I'm just like, oh, well, that's nice.
Like, I understand what you mean.
Yeah,
I do.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just me or other people, but that's.
And I think it happens very uniquely, right? So it has to be a confidence in what you're experiencing. Yeah. Right. I think that's a part of what you're saying as well. So it might be seeing angel numbers for people. It might be certain animals having certain types of conversations, dreams as always, right? Also maybe like frequency changes. And I think I'm going to like have a disclaimer where, you know, some of these things may or not be. This is it, right?
Apply, may not apply.
Right? But I think understanding yourself, right? Taking moments of silence for yourself. We live in a really busy world right now.
In Toronto.
Noisy, it's fast paced. And even sometimes like the sound and the humming of all the things that are plugged in, right? It would be normal for a person to be overstimulated by that. But it's also been normalized to a point where you just take the stimulation, right? I think when you live right in the city core and when you go really, really far, you really take in how stimulated your body is all the time. Yeah. Right? I always compare it to like, I can only imagine how it could be if like I lived really far out, right? Where night was just actually night. There was no air pollution, like there wasn't no light pollution. How stimulating this place would be. Yeah. It's everywhere. Things are always moving.
Like, I'd say like the new luxury is peace. Yeah. And being able to take a step away from your work and go hiking or rafting or canoeing, like, you know, those camping type of vibes. Like that's like as a youth transitioning to an adult, I'm like, damn, I want to do these things more often. I want friends that want to go like rollerblading. Yeah. Like, I want to go back to those inner child moments where I have the most fun.
So you did mention camping and hiking.
Yeah.
So a general rule. I've never been camping as yet. Oh. So I used to kind of go by like, if I'm going camping, there has to be a place for me to do my do, you know, that is covered. Secondly, someone has to have a gun. Thirdly, I need to go with white people because I don't.
Bear trap.
There's just so many concerns that I have with camping. And
mosquitoes.
There's so many concerns. You said mosquitoes?
Yeah. Walmart. Grab all your supplies. Make sure you got that list.
I don't know.
Get the bugs net. You know
I don't know if I'm ready for hiking and camping.
There's like portable toilet pop-up things.
So you've actually been camping in Canada?
Whoa. Not like that, girl. From a Black person perspective, not like that. Not tenting. Oh, girl, no, we don't do that. Okay. I don't do that.
Not yet. Not yet.
Ever. I'm joking. Yet. Maybe one day.
So I know there is initiatives that are, and like, look at our response right now, right? Like truly, like
Wait, I've been camping though. I've been camping, but in the cabin.
You're better than me. Then that's what I'm saying. Like, I know there is initiatives that are out there that are trying to get more Black people, Black women, Black men into going camping and stuff. So I found it interesting that you mentioned that, because this summer is probably the first time that I spent so much time like out of the city.
Yes.
Right. I didn't go clubbing. I didn't do the regular like patio stuff.
Okay.
I went out and I smelt manure and I saw the sky. And
like, sunflowers, cornfields.
Right? And it was really fun. I thought that I would have like really bad allergies out there.
The air is fresher out there. What are you talking? Over here, you don't even want to know. By the time you get home, your face is polluted. Make sure you wash your face at nighttime and morning. All right. Especially if you take the subway. You know all that stuff. Fling up all up in the air.
It does. And you can see the haze.
Dusty. Like, you guys see all the dust over here? I don't know how people be eating our patios in summer. But that's another conversation.
No, it's not. It's this conversation right now. That was disgusting.
It's nasty. I'm not about it. But, like, you want to sit outside? I'm like, do we have to?
Yeah.
Is there back?
There's a place like where I work, and they were part of the people who got those like extended sidewalk into the road patios.
They look nice. Don't get me wrong, they're cute, but
not
for me.
Not in the city.
Not in my dream.
So it's like it's literally like the garbage is right here.
Yeah, that's
right. The TTC is right here.
The streetcars coming,
zooming by people on bikes, zooming by people on smoking whatever they're smoking, doing whatever they're doing. And people were spending hundreds of dollars to drink room temperature white
and the
wine.
ice is melting out there faster. Oh my gosh. Exactly. Ooh, I can't do it.
But anyway.
Not me. No.
We digress. So what are your favorite restaurants to go to? Like, where do you go to eat and stuff?
Ooh, okay. For Toronto, if you're at Dundas Square, I love Blaze Pizza. They got vegan cheese. That's important. I'm lactose. I don't have cheese. But that pizza and
what's
the
vegan
bread,
cheese made out of? Like pistachios?
I have no idea. But like I
Cashews?
just really love cheese back in the days before I actually became lactose. That's another story in a story. But yeah, the vegan cheese, A1. Seasoned, additional top. You could top up. There's unlimited toppings for the one price.
Okay.
That's right there.
But there's no meat.
Yeah, there's meat. There's meat.
Oh,
no. I just personally get the vegan cheese pizza.
I thought it was like a vegan spot that was just
no.
pizza. I was
it's
like,
everything.
What are you talking? What else can you put on a pizza?
Weird, and I'm like, can I get extra meatballs?
I understand.
They're like, I thought you were. I was like, no, just
it's the cheese. I got it.
And I'm like, yeah, bacon, meatballs, everything, all the meat options.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, and I was like, yeah, I'm a meatitarian. Anyway,
so pizzas.
Yeah. Another spot. It's in the West End. I actually grew up eating here as a kid. It's a Trinidadian restaurant. It's Drew Patty's.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so they're A1. They got the bacon shark. They have the doubles, the pylori. You know, they have their vegan things. They have their meat things. It's really, really good. If you're looking for a place to have your birthday, it's a nice place to have dinner. Like, yeah, they've been around since I've been in a stroller.
No, of course. Drew Patty's is big.
It's been good. That's my top.
They're really
favorite.
good. So I kind of find it funny sometimes when like people call like Caribbean food vegan.
No,
it kind of makes me like cringe.
No. We be eating all types of snapper fish and everything. What are they
like
about?
certain types of Caribbean food. Like, so I kind of live like what I kind of think when it comes to this like vegan kind of thing. Like those are just like labels that have people attached. But I think what we're going to. We're going to end up just going back to our traditional foods, right? Yeah. Because they're made for your body, right? They're made for you to consume actually because that is what your parents gave you. Yep. Like I live by the reason why I'm still alive is because I got so much cassava porridge as a child. Like,
yes,
I'm little bit, and you know I'm little bit. You know I drop weight in winter, right? So I live by. That's the only reason why I still exist is because they gave me traditional foods growing up. But it's always kind of funny when people are like, oh, yeah, it's vegan. I'm like, no, it's doubles. Like, what are you talking about? It's China. I don't know if it's doubles. I don't know if it's vegan, I mean.
It's cook up. My mom was always serving us like the dumplings, the soup. And I was like, Mom, listen, if there's no dumpling in the soup, it's not soup, okay? All right.
I agree.
I'm just saying.
I agree. I wouldn't be so bull-faced, but
No, I'm literally like, I don't want it. I literally tell her, I don't want it. If it ain't no dumpling, you well know. And
I am not that bold.
And if it was a situation where someone had to make it, you could call me, beat me if you need to reach me.
Yeah. So you enjoy cooking and stuff?
Yeah. During the lockdown too, I also took up the cooking skills.
Yeah.
I basically learned a bit of culinary, and then did the placement for working frontline. So we could cook like I wanted to upgrade the meals. I was like, okay, what can we do with the ingredients we're getting as donations, but whip it up into something lavish. Like, so I would always pop in and see what the chef's making and kind of throw my ideas and everything. But when they're not there, that's when I'm cooking what I want to cook. So
you sound like a really busy young lady.
Oh, yeah.
Truly, truly busy. How do you manage your time? How do you get through?
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. I've got to say, I always got a watch on my hand. You got to track your time throughout the day. We all have the same 24 hours, but it's how well do you manage your time? It really does come down to that.
Beyonce has the same 24 hours.
Yes. And yeah, she wakes up at a certain time. She eats her food, makes sure she's got energy and fuel, and then she goes into what she might go into. The same way, like when I get up, I try to have morning routines. Some days I'm not consistent, and that's okay. I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and sometimes it gets later on in the day, but it's just about kind of covering those aspects so you can have that good flow. So like in the morning, imagine I don't eat breakfast. I'm out here dehydrated, no food, walking around looking like a zombie. Yeah, and you're not
sweating.
And You know you're not thinking as clearly when you're hungry. That's why they call it hangry. Yeah. People start getting hangry when they not have food and they say, so you don't have chicken wings?
Yeah.
What type of restaurant is this? You got people wilding like that.
Because they're hungry.
Yeah, it gets people out of character. But
and I think it's like as I'm getting older, I don't know if it's just like slapping me harder because I'm old, but like I used to be able to just like have a tea and go outside, have a little smoke and bop, 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 back to it. And I'm like,
yeah, no.
I need to lie down.
You need fuel for real. The fuel is so important. Yeah. If you can't have a whole meal, make sure you make that smoothie with the protein powder, whatever you need to do, or
get something in your body.
Yeah. I've learned that like if I'm not fueled properly, the rest of my day becomes a domino effect, and I'm not gonna have the same quality level that I thought I was gonna have. By not eating properly. So when
that is important. It's important, like, because of course we can do all these time management, we can do all the SMART goals, we can do all of that.
But
if you're
human.
not fueling your body, it's going to be a detriment to you in the long run. And I think one thing is that it doesn't always hit you then. Right. And we, again, because our lives are so busy, we tend to ignore some of those body signs, right? The body signs that you're kind of talking about too. Those are also part of it. Okay. So you have to be able to go through that checklist. Like, okay, what have I been missing? In another interview, they had mentioned something along the lines of like if they had a really successful day, they would reflect on what the last 3 to 4 days was like.
Yes.
Right? What did I do? Who do I talk to? What routines did I put in place?
I do
right?
That.
And try to go back to that and try to like repeat that for the next couple of days and see how it affects you. I think people live in this strange fog for most of the days. And something that I can say that it's happened to me. It happens to me currently, where basically you get home and you're like, oh shit, what just happened? Like, how did I get here? Like,
it goes by so fast. Blink of an eye, you're like, damn, the day's done.
Day's done, right? I have to get up to do whatever tomorrow morning again. And I think because we get in such like a groove of things, we forget that you need to maintain your physical health, your emotional health. You have to do that mental hygiene as well. It's necessary.
There's actually like the 4 quads of holistic like healing and as a person, it's like social, emotional, physical, and spiritual. So it's like tapping into those parts of your life and being like, am I maintaining it? Am I doing certain things to make sure that I'm 100% in this? Why would you even want to be going through life 50%? Like, no, it's just not it. No.
So when it comes to your actual skill, right? Nothing is in a silo, right? Nothing exists without another thing. Have you been able to see kind of how your physical, spiritual maintenance affects your craft?
Most definitely. Okay, so when... Oh, you know what's one with the lipstick? Lip gloss is like nothing. The lip gloss? Sorry. Okay. You know, I could like feel the lip. Anywho.
Do you want to take a second to drink some water and wait? Yeah, take a second.
Like, you know, like
I'm not seeing collection from here. Okay. Do I have collection?
I feel like I have it. I can't see it.
I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it from here. I can say that. Okay? Not from here. I want to give you one of these.
No, one day you came into work, you're like, I was walking around like this, no one told me. You literally. And from that day, I always think of it. Every time I put lip gloss on, I'm like, oh my God, I thought things not there. And then a ghost of Shandy's in the back of my head. Like, no one told me. What? I'm over here telling my friends. You guys got me out here like this. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, don't do that.
What type of friends are y'all?
No one told me.
So I ain't cutting none of this up.
Yeah, I know Natalie rare for a little bit. Just a little bit.
Since you said the Govey, I'm gonna have to clarify. So full name is Natalie Rare Chattagoon. If you want to Google and see my work, but otherwise, if you just know me, it's just Rare. That's it.
My apologies.
Miss one of a kind, so divine. I gotta. Oh my God! I actually got tattooed on my neck.
You tattooed your skin? Oh my God,
girl! I got like 7 tattoos. You just can't see them.
You asked the question.
Oh, okay. So the question was, how do you maintain your craft?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Which craft?
So like, choose one. It's the photography. Like, how do you maintain it? Like, What do you do to make sure you're still on your game?
Oh, yes, I can do that. So, yeah, maintaining my craft. So, as a self-taught photographer, I'm trying to teach myself how to use different equipment, change up the lighting, always learning. Like, I'm a lifelong learner all the way. And if there's I never feel like I'm going to know everything. I'm like, okay, I would work with other photographers to learn from them, to learn from me, and we'll teach each other. And I feel like that's a really great way to even grow in the city. But some people be having all types of situations with collaboration. But that's another story in the story.
Well, no, talk about that, right? Because I think it is a really real thing when, as you discussed before, the networks are really small. Even though the city of Toronto is really, really big, majority of people know each other, right? That 60 degrees of separation is even less now with social media involved. Most people are familiar with each other. So how do you know who to build relationships with? How do you know who to collaborate with?
I feel like it's kind of seeing what the other person's goals are and what your goals are. And if you guys hold the same values, like community is a key value for me. And it's like, if we're doing things together, we're focused on like working together to make it happen. And someone else will be like, oh, I'm more of an independent person. I want to do my own thing. And they're like straight off and want to do their own thing. But I feel like it's the people that have the same mindset of, oh, let's work together, grow together type of mindset that would like collaborate and just feel comfortable doing that. So yeah, it's kind of being like, oh, I want to do a fundraiser. And then I told Shanae, hey, let's work together. She was like, sure. She did the cooking. I did the coordination, the volunteers, the photos. Like we found our roles within the project and we kind of like understood the assignment.
You're right. And that could be hard if you don't have a base set of goals to work from. You don't know whose toes you're stepping on when it comes to roles and responsibilities.
And that's where I feel like a lot of people get confused, concerns in relationships when there's not like a boundary as well as like guidelines and kind of like agreements on what it's going to look like, the project's going to look like and things like that. Like in Toronto, I know like a lot of videographers are like, they're seeing mans in the music video holding the bands, but they can't even get the deposit for shooting the video. Like, hello, these are people invest, like respect your videographers, respect your photographers, tag them in their work, promote them. You must pay that deposit. You gotta respect them. They're the ones making that vision come to life. And it does take a lot out of people to even process that. So
do you think there's any infrastructure that's missing in Toronto? And if so, what would you like to see?
Infrastructure.
Resources, even.
I would say we need more like open, affordable studio spaces, like a community hub where you are able to access like all these tools and skills. Like for me, I have to go to so many different places to like learn certain skills and try different things that it's ridiculous. I literally be going all the way. I'm in Etobicoke in Scarborough to I don't know, do rug making or something. Like it's ridiculous. I'm like, why am I going all the way over here?
Because of funding, you know that.
Okay. City of Toronto, fund the centers, please, and pay the people properly.
Because of funding.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked, right? Because I think sometimes it's not about there is no resources, about the accessibility of resources. So there's always a lot of grants that are out there, workshops, loan programs, learning programs that are out there and available.
But it's the restrictions that come with those at the same time that
sometimes
makes
it's age, sometimes it's demographic.
The accessibility. Like I know a lot of folks who are just now finding themselves in their 30s and there's no, like they're not able to access grants or opportunities or trainings and things like that because the cutoff is 29. What type of random number is 29? First of all, you should at least make it 30. Like why just round up? But it creates
pretty
like
sure the tax thing. I'm almost sure.
Probably. But like still like giving those people that second chance to redeem themselves or find what they want in life and still continue. One thing we find ourselves at different times.
One thing I did get to see in the pandemic is that a lot of grants did open up a little bit because there was the limitation of being able to meet up in person. So they had to pivot on what grant application looks like and who they're granting things to. So I think that did kind of shake that up a little bit. I know that a couple of the arts ones instead of it just being, okay, everyone in it has to be located in Toronto, basically if 50% of the team was in Toronto, then you can apply for the grant. Because I think one thing we overlook or take for granted is how much grants we have here.
Yes.
When you look at Nova Scotia, they don't have the same kind of grant programs.
No, they don't. No.
At all. Like, and when you even Victoria, or sorry, is that place Victoria, British Columbia?
Yeah.
Sorry, they don't have the amount that we have access to us like all year round.
Yeah,
it's interesting. So we kind of take for granted, but we also have our own unique issues within our own systems here.
Yes.
So I did have a question, just kind of about like social media. How has that affected the way that you get work? Because you do digital photography, right? And you do photography, and you are behind the scenes when it comes to a lot of community initiatives as well.
Yes.
How has social media been a part of that?
I would say personally, I kind of just use my social media as like kind of just to see my progress, like a yearbook type of thing, like scrolling down to see my first post. And my first post is actually me talking to John Tory about social issues in the city.
I remember that.
That's another comment I'll keep to myself. So yeah, I talked to him about some really important issues that day, and it was a domino effect. I'll tell you what I said off the mic.
Sure.
Yeah. But how I look at my social media is kind of just looking back and seeing like, wow, this really is like a stepping stone of what I've like came over time. Sorry, I lost my whole train of thought.
Yeah, no worries. It's just how social media affects or influences.
So yeah, I use social media like to kind of show a profile and kind of see the progress, and to like show other people like what I'm doing, because I can't just keep up with everybody. But I know it's a really great way for everyone that I've ever met in time to stay connected and to kind of show each other like what's going on. Like seeing Shandy with the new boo, and I'm like, okay, Pray. Like, yes, I love that for you. Oh and okay, go ahead. And then same with my social media and like my art. I'm posting and showing people like, oh, I'm doing this and that.
Yeah.
People are like, oh yes, I love to see it. Some people like have wrote really passionate comments underneath my post to be like, I've been following you for a while, and I can't. I know we don't know each other, whatever, but like I'm really proud of what you're doing for the community, and things. I would get like really sweet comments, and it makes me feel really nice, and it kind of helps me continue doing the work.
Yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, like this is like, it's really showing other people like there's still love in the city. Yeah, there's still people with good hearts. Yeah. And then I also feel like as I continue to post my photography and stuff, people who see it, they want to book me. I use it a lot for like guest speaking, for instance. Like I recently got booked to guest speak at George Harvey, and I got to speak to the youth there about steps to success. So I talked about like managing your emotions and your environment, and using your use of time and things like that. And it really impacted youth to follow me on my journey and message me and ask for advice for themselves, and like connect and be like, oh, if I want to do this, what's the best way to go about it? And I really like that I've made these impacts in people's lives, and yeah, I feel like I'm really living in my purpose.
That's amazing to hear that you do have like a positive relationship with social media. So I think now it gets a bad rap, right? Yeah. Like I think depending on what you put out there is what you get. Exactly. I think if it is that you are doing your work in a genuine way, it will show through photography. It'll show through the initiatives. And again, like we talked about earlier, it may not be right away, right? Yeah. It may be an impact that you see years down the line, right? It may be an impact you never get to see, but I do that social media has a really good role in having like a snapshot. It's a good little go through too.
And actually recently, I don't know if they told me not to tell people or not, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay.
So recently,
Okay, sure.
So recently, some folks, like after my contract ended for the community support worker, I was like, what's my next steps look like? What do I want to do? Do I want to jump back into more social work? Do I want to finish school? Do I want to work on my business? Do I want to create more books? Like, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. And bam, the answer was in my email. I'm going to tell y'all, there is treasure in your email. Make sure you check all your folders, reply to folks, stay connected. I went in my email one day and I'm like, yeah, I got like 8K emails to sort through because I was so busy caught up in doing the real frontline work that I haven't been on the emails because I was so focused on being present in real life. Then I was like, yeah, I'll check my notifications and everything later. And bam, in my email, like, Rare, we think you'd be really great to do this project. I'm reading the email, I'm scrolling down, I'm like, do I have time for a project? Do I want to do a project? I look at it and they're like, we want to feature you in the TTC. I was like, oh, you guys got me. Shoot. So next year in January, February, I'm going to have a 3-panel design in one of the subways.
I will go on the subway for you.
Oh.
No, I don't like the bus, but I will go for you.
I'm a road runner. I be on the subway all the time. But
that's amazing, though.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow. I feel like I
1, 2, 3.
I'm like, ooh, I got my flowers. And it's going to be a series of Black women from around the Toronto who are also artists. So feeling all types of ways just be beside other like powerful, empowering, like creatives like myself.
And trust, we love to see it.
Yes.
I love going to the TDC and being like, oh, look at that. Like, I love being able to see people who, it sounds like a boost, but I like seeing people who I know have been working forever in public. And when you finally see her, like, oh my gosh, like, wow.
I'm like getting my chills, but I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be great. And what I created is like the panels have to represent Black excellence. So I'm like, you picked the right place. So I'm going to be putting words and affirmations and values that I've came across while growing up in Toronto. I'm born and raised here. Like, this is my city. And I'm like, wow, I love it here. So one panel is going to be photography from like almost every station and like little pieces of the city where I've resonated with. And the other panel is going to just be like roses and a poem. I think the poem just talks about the circle of life and how we're like working to live and we're trying to break out of that cycle and have our freedom and to just enjoy our lives instead of like paycheck to paycheck, or how the rent in Toronto is ridiculous and how it has people in crazy, I've heard some stories, crazy situations just for living standards. But that's a major social issue right now in Toronto. I can say the housing problem. And
what I would like to remind people is before 2019, before we had a pandemic, there were bed bugs on the TTC. We had someone throwing poop on people. We had a housing crisis. We had opioid crisis. I'm pretty sure our drummer was getting sued for something along the lines of. There was a lot of things that were happening before the pandemic that
swept under the rug.
I don't think they were swept under the rug. I don't think so. I don't want to get to conspiracy theory on you now.
Well, like
I don't want to get to conspiracy theory on you. But when you look at what was happening in certain like private markets when it comes to housing, when you start looking at what was happening from 2016, 2017 on, it doesn't look encouraging, I would say, for corporations who also influence how people live their lives. Some of the biggest corporations were involved in certain things. They own certain properties now that have shifted people out of their living quarters and they couldn't afford to live there anyway, right? And some of it is really good things, really good opportunities. But in the meantime, the people who were hopefully just catching themselves, right, went for about 2 to 3 years of being unseen or having this focus on them that was so laser focused that the issues surrounding them weren't being addressed. So I think we're going to see that. We're going to see that bubbling. It's going to be Gotham City.
Yeah, that's what This winter, y'all seen Tent City? It's gonna be times 3. Yeah. As I was mentioning, I've been working with the homeless, and it just keeps getting worse.
I was in what's it called there? It's Kitchener, sad. Cambridge, whichever one is not poor. Sorry, whichever one is.
I don't know. I don't be going over there.
There's one that
Cambridge.
Okay, that one right had a tent city, ooh. And like really nice tents, but right like parking lot full of people
is there. Like they're live seeing it. It's like for me, I really feel like if they actually had affordable units in the city, that at least like the middle income or at least the low income folks can at least get a space. But there's actually like, as we're working with folks trying to house them, the housing worker is making the list and it's like 1,800, 1,900.
For bachelors.
Yeah.
Barely.
And like a half a window, no balcony. Like they're getting like really, I've like seen these units and I'm going to these places. I'm hearing nightmares about people trying to get housing.
And the living conditions of themselves.
And it's absolutely disgusting. Like you're getting a basement for like 1,500 and the basement and the people still come down there to do the laundry and your space and everything. Like I'm hearing too much. And I'm like, this is getting out of hand. Yeah. If they just gave us some more affordable units or Toronto Housing gets more units or more
I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think it'll have to be one of those things where we kind of, I think people should obviously have their goals and desires, right? But we might have to let go a bit of ego when it comes to getting that.
Yes.
I understand really clearly being in my 30s, right? Coming from first generation Canadian, I understand that the likelihood of certain things for me is less, right? Mm-hmm. But I think there's a part of your brain that has to go, shh.
Yep.
Like you just have to just let go all of the labels and the things that have been attributed to you. Just kind of have to just drop it sometimes and be like, okay, take advantage. Call your bank, call your accountant, like call these people that you pay to be there to figure it out, right? Like, and when Dawn or whoever, right, when they answer the phone, right, talk to them, get their extension and call Dawn every week. Like she's waiting for your call. She gets paid to help you.
Yeah.
Right? The bank.
Like access those services that are here to help you. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, the amount of people like every day at the center, I'd be like, did you know they have this opportunity there? And like, I know, but it's not for me. And I'm like, you didn't even read the paper yet. Yeah. Like you're already rejecting the option that might be an accessible path for you before not even acknowledging what it might be. And I'm like, wow.
So a part of it, I think, is also kind of having confidence yourself, self-esteem, all these like fancy words we have towards it. But I think there has to be like this guidance portion, right? There has to be like this in-between of letting go of ego, being realistic with your surroundings, making those smart goals and having that like activation behind it. Yes. And in all transparency, a whole lot of prayer. Like I think that also is a lot to do with it.
Yes.
Just sitting with yourself, with God, and just allowing for you to be used as appropriate. And I think there is a privilege in me being able to say that. Like I recognize that me being able to say that and be able to do that is a privilege on its own, but you got to find where you're at, like as an individual.
Yeah. It takes a lot of self-reflection. And again, I don't feel like a lot of people like take that time to do that. Again, I'm always journaling. In my journal. I hold self-reflection pages, organization pages, goals pages. Like there's a page for everything, to be honest. If you just map it out and look at it, it might just become clearer to you. So,
Thank you for everything that you shared today.
Thank you for having me.
No, of course, of course. Before we kind of, do our final set of wrap-ups, I do want you to please, if you don't mind, maybe share an affirmation or a mantra that you're using right now. I bought some books, right? And usually, so before we've used chalkboard, we've used paper, but today I said, you know what? Rare wants oil pastels and graph paper.
I actually might, so we do a little art thing. I'm not that type of artist. I am not a drawing art. That's not in the skill set.
Oh, sorry.
But I'll try it.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so they're just don't get on your dress. Just they're all pastels.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Sorry.
Like whatever.
Yeah.
I always have pens in my bag. My purses and the purses inside the purse just have pen on everything. I be cashing out. People make me look like I'm some type of weird. I'm like
bag lady.
Yeah, I'm like. You're like.
Yeah. So just think about an affirmation or a mantra or a couple of words that hold to you that you want to share. You said some amazing things today. And if I, can remember everything, I would remind you. But what comes to you? Take a second.
I was going to put down self-care with rare, but that's just a motto more than a mantra. Actually, yeah. I got some.
All right. And you chose the color green.
Nope, black.
Yeah? Okay. So I'm obviously colorblind.
Good start.
So what'd you say you're gonna write? Self-care with rare. Oh, you chose
self-love is the best love.
Self-love is the best love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I was found as the young black girl in these white schools growing up. I didn't like my perception of beauty was a little off. Like I will always straighten my hair. I have like really nice hair and everything, but these kids would always touch my hair and it would make me uncomfortable, and I would always straighten it just so I could look like them and like fit in. And I never even fit in anyway. I really never fit in.
Yeah,
primary school, impossible. Middle school. I was like, yo, I'm definitely not like them.
I think that's like one thing truly, like as I'm getting older, is that you don't even realize how much you've internalized when you're a young child. When you're probably one of a handful of like black children in a classroom, right? Growing up in Canada, you don't really realize how it affects you until you're older, right? It's not that you were ever ugly, right?
No.
You were never ugly. It's just like the standard of beauty that you thought you were being judged against.
Yeah,
it's not for you to attain. I ain't got no hair, a little picky head.
My head.
Just cornrows and braces,
No, my mom would always give me these crazy braid ups.
Yeah.
The worst one was I kind of like McDonald's as a kid, so she gave me an M. Like literally, I hit that photo away. Y'all ain't never gonna see it.
Yeah, but at the same time, like 90s Canadian, Caribbean, early 2000s styles were wild.
A lot of mercy.
You think about it, you're like, why did they put so many bubbles in my head?
Like,
why was I wearing church socks?
I was walking around
school?
Like, boop, boop, boop,
yeah,
boop,
clink, 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 clinks.
Yeah, like I am the.
No, it's good though. It's good, and there's a benefit, right? Like we got like we're dating gold, and we had little bobbles in our hair. We wore church socks.
You know the funniest thing?
It's
across
fun.
the street from the center, there's a Guyanese lady.
Yeah,
and she gave me all this gold jewelry.
Yeah,
these bangles. She's like, hey,
amazing.
Yeah, you look like a coolie. You need bangles.
Yeah, like, you're missing.
Back in the days, I feel like that was like a signature thing.
Yeah,
for, like,
for sure.
Caribbean
for sure.
folk.
That's what you got as a baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got the little chain. You got a little bangles.
The anklet.
Yeah, the one with the little knot towards the end of it. The grape shape earrings.
Yeah,
it was a lifestyle. It was good.
Yeah, and like now as I'm growing up and getting older, I love my braid styles.
Yeah.
I love putting my hair in braids. And people, like some people who don't know me, when they meet me with braids and they see me online, they're like, oh my gosh, that's your real hair? You should have just kept it out. I was like,
and who's going to tie it tonight?
You disrespecting the braid up. What?
And who's going to comb my hair and tie it up tonight?
Yeah, like, whoa, my hair is high maintenance. Don't get it twisted. It be drinking them products. Chloride needs to sponsor me.
Self-love is the best love. So what does self-love mean to you then?
Oh, it means taking care of yourself.
Okay.
Making sure you eat, lotion your skin.
Right.
Like I invest in my shea butters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like eating good, making sure I have my smoothies, my sushi. Like I got through college eating sushi every morning. Those
Sushi and
Asians know what they're
smoothies.
doing. They know what they're doing. It's that high protein that got me absorbing the information like SpongeBob.
No, it's true. And like, you know those poke bowls? I think that's what it's called. Poke bowls? No?
Oh, yeah.
Am I saying it wrong? I don't want to be like poke bowls. I don't want to say
I was
that.
like, am I saying it wrong? I thought in my head, I was like,
I don't know. I was trying to be
like poke bowls.
I didn't want to call
it poke bowls?
I thought it was pokey.
Pokey bowls? Yo.
Gonna get a
Canadian, but my English be awesome.
Grind. Pokey, wine. Finish your self-love is the best love. So that's self-love to you. And it's different for everyone. And that's what we're talking about. At some point in time in my life, I think it was more so meditation, yoga, connecting with people. At this point in time in my life, it truly is like, hey, make a budget and follow said budget.
That's actually what it is.
Yeah, at this point in my life. And you have to be really like honest about what it is at this point.
Actually, I have a tip for that.
Yeah.
Like, the best thing you could do is actually make a needs, a wants, and a goals list.
Okay.
What you need, what you actually need.
Yeah, when it comes to guiding your budget,
is
what you mean?
Like an oil change for your car. You need to do that or else it ain't going to function.
Right.
Or you need to get groceries.
Yeah.
Or you ain't eating.
You have to eat, yeah.
And then the want is like, oh, I want a new camera or I need a new car. You hear yourself say, I need a new car, but that's a want.
It's a want.
You want a new
It'd
car.
be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice. But do you need it right now? Ask
the way
yourself
that
that
gas
when you're in the
prices
store and you're contemplating if you should buy it or not. It'll change your budget and your month.
I understand what you mean.
It'll flow differently depending on what you buy.
because that's the thing. Like, you're going to spend the money anyway. Yeah. Right? So having a clear of what you're spending your money on. She says, I don't draw, then go to decorate.
I'm just making a cute
No,
heart.
it is cute. It's nice. She says, I don't draw. Let me decorate.
Just the heart.
There we go. Beautiful. Self-love is the best love.
Self-love is the best love. Ooh.
So before we wrap up, can you let us know, like, what is the vision for the future?
Ooh.
What's next?
I actually wrote that down in the 5-year plan. So in the next couple of months.
Yeah, share what you want to share.
Yeah, I'm like, let me break it down, but I'll break it down. Feel me? I do want to create some more books. So the sequel to my first book, Rare's World, will be Rare's Growth. So I'm taking some time to really reflect on all of the progress I've actually made and actually putting it into story form. So the sequel will be short stories from my actual life, poetry, and photography. And then the first book, if you guys aren't sure, is just photography and poetry from growing up in Toronto.
And where would you be able to find Rare's World?
Ooh, so because I'm rare and I'm one of a kind, so divine, hard to find, I actually limited the physical copies of the first book.
Okay.
So if you do want to find it, and if it's still there, I haven't checked their stock, but if it's still there, it'll be at House of Moses in Kensington Market if there is any copies. But if it isn't, hopefully in the future, I am working on a ebook version. So people would be able to still access it in that way. And then maybe in the future for its accessibility, coming up with an audiobook for the impaired or any folks out there who want to listen.
I love audiobooks. I recently downloaded Audible and currently pay for it.
Oh,
I love it. I think Audible podcasts are the future.
Yeah.
Eventually, no one will be able to see because we're all wearing glasses, and then eventually it'll be like unneeded.
I've heard
because social media and virtual reality will be actually in our glasses.
It's coming real soon. Yeah, I actually had a company send me glasses like that.
Yeah. See
like,
what for what?
It was like cameras.
What do you want to see? The trees?
It was crazy. No, it was like a Snapchat thing where you could actually like take photos. Yeah. It connects to the app and I could just tap. I was doing this like Inspector Gadget thing. But anyway.
And salute to Audible also. This audio, the audio experience of this, you can find that on Audible as well.
Well, look at that.
Tap in. Don't miss it.
I didn't know that.
These are tips for life. For life, real life. In our real life. But
so where would you want to be found?
So my community Instagram is rares.world. So RARES .world. And personal, if you want to look back into my yearbook of memories, you could check it out at xo.rare. And we're working on a new website to drop all these situations I'm bringing up. So I hope to run classes actually for children in storytelling and creativity and things like that. I really, really like working with children. Yeah, I'm actually contracted to do that next month. So find me there, sign your kids up, holla at me.
Amazing.
I do one-on-one lessons as well. Let me know what you guys want to learn. My newest skills has been cake decorating. I can do 2-tier cakes.
Okay.
Just for fun. Like,
yeah, nice.
But if people want to learn, like, I'll teach them. And my next, I actually want to try DJing. Rare the DJ? I bring the vibes to the occasion.
I think that would be nice.
I feel that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what's next. Not really sure, but we're just trying new things and seeing how it goes. Yeah. Thank you guys.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, multi-talented Rare, for coming through. Really appreciate it. You shared a lot of knowledge today, a lot of vulnerability with your story as well. So, of course, thank you so much. And I'm wishing the best for you as always in the future.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
I'm going for a hug now. Bye.